Hello and welcome back, everybody. I am, of course, Cobra X, and we've got a lot of news. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but in the past week there's been a lot of stuff going on, so we'll get right into it. And yeah, guys. So, it's been a while. Okay? Sorry. Not sorry. I mean, family, all this other stuff, life happens. I don't have equipment. We all know this. Anyways, so onwards. First thing I'd like to bring up is, of course, a little bit of Ravens news. Not much, but it is noted that it just dawned on me. I happened to look at preseason scheduling. The first preseason game is actually August 12th, which is fantastic because that means we got less than a month to go until our first preseason game. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get those guys on the field, even if it's just a snack and the sample, a morsel of to see what's to come of our new and hopefully improved offense. Since this offense could be very deadly, depending on how things happen. On paper, though, it looks pretty good, but we all know paper doesn't always transfer the field. So there's that. But let's just hope that everything works out. But that being said, that brings me up to my next point, which is DeAndre Hopkins. D-Hop got signed to the Titans to a 2-year, $26 million deal with a total potential being $32 million. Why Belichick didn't pull the trigger on that, and it would improve them with him and have, I believe, Juju's over there now, and giving Mac Jones a true number one. And I still think at 30, I think he'll be 31 here soon, but it doesn't matter. Healthy D-Hop would be still top 5 receiver all day. And to give Mac Jones those weapons, the Juju just came off winning a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Obviously, we know what he's capable of before that with playing against them with the Steelers. So you'd have that and D-Hop, and I don't know what happened, but whatever. Now the Titans get him, and actually, he's returning to the AFC South, where he was with the Texans, and gets to play against the Texans twice a year now. Also gets to play against, the Colts, which he dominates most of the time, twice a year, again. And over this past weekend, speaking of how I found out, is actually I was watching the golf tournament over the weekend. So, and the person I was watching would be none other than Pat McAfee, a former, obviously, punter for the Colts. And he was playing golf and talking around with Vrabel, and Vrabel's like, yeah, I knew, of course, I'm the head coach. So I found out that way through that source. But, Pat had a good outing. AJ Hawk was there. He did pretty well, too, it seems like. Rose some money for charity. But the man that won it all, freaking Steph Curry. Yes, he's a great basketball player, but apparently he knows how to play golf as well, because he won that. He is actually the first active player to also win this tournament in 23 years since the year 2000, obviously, which was won by El Greco, which was he is a former kicker, which would have been cool to see another former kicker, or I should say punter, win as well. But I was rooting for you, Pat, just to let you know. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive to be the first active athlete, because this is normally it's for celebrities and stuff like that, and older athletes and stuff like that, or people that's retired. Don't mean that they're old, but I'm just saying people that are retired, whatever, what have you. But that was pretty impressive to see. What's also impressive over the last weekend, though, talking about impressive, is one woman who is Sabrina Insu, I think is her name. I've probably butchered that, and I apologize sincerely. But she scored a record high 37 to dominate the women's 3-point competition during the women's All-Star weekend last weekend. And watching highlights of that, that is awesome. She missed all but 2 shots. Talk about what a fucking beast in her own right. I mean, what a dog. Man, I mean, you see NBA players that can't do that now anyway. So, congratulations to Sabrina for doing an accomplishment and a feat that's never been, record holding, never been done, that many points scored in an all-star 3-point contest. And that was just cool to see. And, so yeah, like I said, over the weekend we had that tournament. I've been watching that on and off. Pulling for Pat, pulling for AJ, and them boys doing the commentary was just hilarious. But nonetheless, it was kind of fun to watch. I'm not a huge golf fan myself personally, but it was fun to watch them golf and stuff because it was for a charity event and it was fun. And it looked like some good, wholesome fun. So, like I said, guys, it's sad to see that D-Hop is now signed to the Titans in the AFC, but obviously we weren't going to get him for that price when we could barely afford Odell to begin with. So, it's okay. Our receiver core looks like it should be pretty solid. I think some of those guys might be dark horse guys to actually be more productive on the Ravens offense, and that being in that wide receiver group. Like Devin Duvernay, for one. I think he's very underrated. And I think he'll have more of a breakout year, whether it be returns or whatever it may be. Because you can kind of use him, screens, stuff like that. He's pretty good. But, an interesting one to see how well he turns out would be Laquan Treadwell. Just never got it going as a former first-round pick for the Saints, and I want to see him. I really thought he'd be really good coming right out of college, but it's been kind of a slow, bumpy, and injury start, so we'll see about that. But lastly, guys, I'd like to talk about, first of all, thank you for whoever's still stuck out all this time, subscribers, people that's liked my videos, viewed them. I don't care what your guys doing. If you're doing anything with my videos, awesome. I'm just happy to be able to do this content. Honestly, I wish I had better equipment. I would be doing this every day. I love doing this, and this computer can barely put out a video or two because it just constantly crashes and freezes, and it sucks. So, but that's on me. Finances would be nice, get things around, to be able to afford these things. So I guess I'm just blessed to be able to do this at all. But anyways, onward from my rambling. Lastly, I'd like to talk about NASCAR a little bit. Truex seems like he picked up over the weekend his 3rd win of the season, takes the points lead, which is cool. For a person that still doesn't know if he's going to retire yet or not, I don't think so. I don't know if there's news on that today or yesterday or whatever. I haven't paid attention to that part. I should, but I have not. And I don't know if he's coming back and being re-signed for another year. He should be at this point because Joe Gibbs has got to re-sign him because of his talent. And he's clearly, he's clearly a threat to win the championship. He doesn't have the most wins, but, he's consistent. And he has 3, and he leads the points right now, so it's got to be saying something about him. We have, it was a good race over the weekend. And, yeah, good racing this week at New Hampshire. Their top 5, you had people up there, like Logano finished 2nd, Larson 3rd. We had Harvick finishing 4th. That's good for him. Brad, another top 5. He's getting more solid. Harvick, he's still above that cutoff, but not by a whole lot. I think he's sitting 9th. in points or something like that. Either way, he's above the cutoff, but he still has to. Looks like he needs to get a win to probably solidify himself in there. But at least he's safe for now. Solid top 5. The 4 finishing 4th is pretty good. And if he keeps that up, I guess he won't need a win. He just needs to win when it becomes important during the playoffs. A person, however, think that still needs to win is Chase Elliott. He finished 12th in the race and just couldn't get the car going very well. And the guys that are ahead of him are either finished a spot ahead or, like Justin Haley, I think he finished 15th or 16th. And I believe Michael McDowell's is 16th in the points right now, which is pretty good for him. He's right at that cutoff point. But he finished 13th, one spot behind Chase Elliott. So Chase needs to probably get a win, given that he's still 60 points out. Like I said, I'm almost certain he needs a win at this point. But we'll see what happens here. Like I said, it was some good racing. It got rain delayed, so they didn't race until yesterday, so it threw me off. I actually missed most of the race because I had a bunch of other things to do yesterday. But that being said, I still watched my highlights, still tried to get as much stuff done as possible. And yeah, guys, this quite a bit of stuff over the weekend. I'm trying to find other sports to watch and everything else just to have my time hold over until we finally get NFL back, which is freaking sweet. I can't wait. So pumped for this season. There's so much transactions that's happening in the off season. I haven't been more excited for this season, and it's never been so competitive in the AFC like it will be this year. Because of all the quarterback switchings and all the other signings for key positions. It's also kind of sad to see that Josh Jacobs and Barkley will not be signed to extensions, and so they're stuck with the franchise tag. I don't know if they're going to hold out or what they plan on doing, but I just think it's been so unfair for those running backs. I mean, they get paid basically the same. Right now, the going market's about the same price as, say, Justin Tucker as kicker. So there's a problem here because people think running backs is disposable, whatever. We don't need to pay him. We'll just get the next guy in the draft, pick another guy in free agent. Not a big deal. Veterans minimum, a couple million here. We're not going to pay him $10, $15, $20 million a season. Well, I'm here to tell you they are still very important. They do a lot. Some guys are the main man in the backfield running up through. Then they're catching passes, and they're blocking. Most of these guys are having to block as well, and move in motion, and also work on special teams as well. So they're doing all that shit for the same price as a guy that kicks the ball. I'm not saying kickers are not special, because, we've seen some pretty magical kickers, some great punters since I've been watching, and those guys are special in their own right. So I'm just saying the running backs need some love and attention too. And I just think it's sad that the market's just not there for them right now. I like to see those guys get paid. I love the running game. I'm more old school anyways. Love my defense and running game, but I also love, I like to see some good passing too. That's why I'm super excited to see what the Ravens can do this year. Can they still balance a good run game and open it up over top? Can they do that? I don't know. I think Lamar is very capable of it. Unlike other people, have very spectacle. They're very unsure of what he can do. But it's been 5 years, man. I think this is his sixth. 2018. Yeah, it's going in, including rookie season. It's going into his sixth NFL season this year. pretty sure yes, he's improved on stuff. Looks like I think he actually slimmed a little bit down, but I'm not sure. Either way, I just think he's a lot better than what people give him credit for. Like, if you watch his college tape and stuff here and there, they were more in a pro-style offense as well, and he did just fine. So, I don't know what the big deal is. Everybody's like, well, because, Monken's going to be there, they're going to pass the ball like crazy, and we don't think Lamar can do it, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? You're all freaking wrong. So, you watch and see. I mean, we got potential here to have just in 4 receivers, including Mark, the freaking great Mark Andrews, who was a top three, arguably top 2 tight end in this league, who's capable of getting 1,000 receiving yards. Okay, so you got Mark Andrews, Odell Beckham, if he stays healthy, which right now he sounds and looks like he's the healthiest he's been in the last 3-4 years. So I don't know. And age 30, man, it's a number. I'll be 33 here in 2 weeks. I don't feel 33. Okay? I feel like I'm still in my fucking 20s. I have the same back pain that I had in my 20s. Didn't get any worse yet. It's a little bit more frequent, but not too bad. But my ankle's just feeling better and better. I'm still in the stupid boot, but it's besides the point. But anyways, Odell Beckham, OBJ can get 1,000. Flowers, I think he's going to be a breakout star. He would probably end up getting 1,000. And the question mark is if Bateman stays healthy. We haven't seen his ceiling at all because he's been injured. He could also be 1,000. There's 4,000 yards right there. Let alone the other receivers and tight ends you have Likely and, all kinds of guys that would probably get their fair share of 10, 20, maybe 30 catches for the season. They'll get a little bit of action too. There's a lot of people to go around and a lot of depth on that roster, on the wide receiver room. And that's something that was lacking for so long. Yeah, and they're saying, well, and you have Duvernay as well. He could easily reach probably at least 600 yards. So, if this actually happens, and running the ball, you're screwed. If they perfect both sides of the offense, there's no stopping them. And that's going to be great. Because they need everything they can get being in this AFC. I'm telling you. It's going to be great. You just freaking watch. As long as everything turns out, they even got rid of their trainer and everything, got a different workout trainer, whatever. Hopefully that helps too with injuries throughout the season. Not only for offense, but for defense as well. Keeping people healthy, keeping people on the field. There's still a couple guys in free agency that we still haven't seen signed yet. We could technically sign them back. I know a couple people are saying, some, I believe, was it Huff? No. I think Marcus Peters is still available, as far as I know. And the other cornerback that we had, I can't remember his name, last year, I think it's Kyle. He got injured, I think, the first game in, or preseason or something, but we lost him before it even got started as well. So, there's guys out there still that we can come in and help. That, as far as that trade goes, though, Chase for, who was it that they wanted to trade Chase away to? I can't exactly remember right off the top of my head. What was it, Patrick Queen or something? No. Especially now that they're talking about extending Patrick Queen, wanting to actually, if they're actually serious about actually keeping him, if we extend him, let's say towards the end of the season, they're like, wow, he's playing really well, we're going to retain him. You now have those two monsters as linebackers with this young group of the front up front. They're gonna be pretty set. They're gonna be a top 10 defense easy. And if the offense can stay clicking and do everything that we think they on paper that they could do, they have the potential to do, they're a top 5 offense. That's easily the best, coupled with the best kicker in the league, one of the best returners as in Duvernay, and you got a Super Bowl run. It's just putting it all together. That's the hardest thing. Is meshing. Everybody's meshing together. But that's enough talk about that. Like I said, I'm happy Truex is leading. It's cool to see somebody leading the points like that. Will Byron's turned it up this year. I think he's got 5 wins, and him in his own right it'd be kind of neat. It'd be wild to see him win, because that means 3 out of the last 4 championships, I believe, are all Hendrick drivers if he wins this year. And then if Byron wins this year, you'd have Chase, Larson, you'd have to just have Bowman. That's it. And that right there, that's hard to do. To have that kind of a stable, have that kind of a team and support. You're definitely the best team in NASCAR right now. You had a couple down years here and transition and stuff, but you're finally back on top. That's hard to do, recover so fastly like that. And it's really only like a year or two of a down year, really. And it's for them that's something, but that's nothing. It's nothing. Teams go years, decades without winning a championship, and then finally winning one, and then going back into hiding and going away for a while. So these guys are always consistent. They know what they're doing. Do they cheat? Yeah, but who doesn't? It's just who gets caught and who doesn't. I mean, all these other teams, they cheat as well. So it don't matter. I think NASCAR is being a little stupid with some of those things, though. But I know that they want to basically eliminate everything from the crews to doing anything out of the normal at all. And they've, ever since this new car came out, they've really cracked down on rules and everything. So we'll see what happens. And this is about it for this video. Thanks for supporting me, and don't forget, like and subscribe at the bottom. Please share, that helps too. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cobra X out.